Hi guys, welcome back to the Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Amber.
And I'm Brent.
And we got a great one today.
We got a nutty one for you today.
We already know you're a nut.
Yeah, kind of. But today we're going to be doing something different that we have never done on this homestead before, but we're all about trying new stuff and we're going to get after it.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, we're going to do our tomato planting, our Roma tomatoes for the year.
Yes.
And then we'll get y'all into the little surprise that we've got.
We've got the Roma tomatoes we're setting up out here in the main part of the garden, and we've kind of moved things around, and we're using regular tomato cages, which is a controversy all in itself.
Correct. We're going to hear lots of comments about, Brent, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah, everybody thinks everybody's doing something wrong. It's your garden, it's your rules.
And we're just going to show you what is successful for us every year, especially with the amount that we grow every year. Last year we were very successful in producing 80% of all of our own food in proportions that we would normally eat. So it's not like we overproduce any one thing really.
Correct.
But we're going to try some new stuff this year and expand upon that.
Correct.
So let's get in and get some tomatoes planted.
Yeah.
Alrighty folks, so we got 24 Roma tomato plants here that we're going to plant in these containers in this row. We're going to do a little bit of soil and bed preparation. I've already got some tomato cages in here, which I already know I'm going to get a lot of comments on that those tomato cages are absolutely worthless and they don't hold up very well. That's true for the most part. I like to use these cages because it makes a great first structure for the tomato plant. Like, it'll support the leaves as the plant's starting to grow and flourish and get big. These Roma tomato plants that we're growing here, I'm fully planning on getting them 6 to 8 foot tall, and once the plant gets to that size, I'm going to make another structure out of 2x2 that I hammer into the ground with T-post and really good support once the plant gets that tall, which actually helps support these cages.
These cages make really good tying off points to support the rest of it, so they're kind of a in-between thing. No, we don't count on them 100%, but they do help us have internal structure that's not really in the way of the plant, so we still use them.
So next thing is for our blossom end rot issues, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for the next thing that I do here, but I've done it every year and it works very well. With that said, blossom end rot is really caused by a couple of different things. It's a calcium deficiency, but it also can be caused by inconsistent waterings, which is not allowing the calcium to get to the plant when and as it needs. With that said, we save all of our eggshells year round. We pulverize them into a powder, and then we sprinkle that vastly across the bed that we're planting the tomato in, because we want the smaller tertiary roots to get those supplements, not just at the base of the plant. And I already know people are going to say, Brent, it takes years, or possibly years and years, for the eggshell to break down to allow the calcium to be usable for the plant, which is true. With that said, I put my eggshells in these containers every year, so therefore eggshells from 3 years ago that are broken down for the plant could be used this year.
Are still here.
Correct. So I'm going to get some irrigation in here, and then Amber is going to show you what she does with the planting. And
the irrigation is done, we're doing that slightly different again this year. So in years past, we've done soaker hoses.
Correct.
We've done drip tape, and they've all worked. They're all very good options, but we're trying to figure out maybe if there was a little bit better option. So this is something that we decided to try this year.
Correct. This is all some Home Depot stuff, and they have these little sprinklers like this. And this is really designed to be off of a smaller hose. So you got a hole punch like this main trunk line right here, you'd puncture a hole into it and you run a line off of this and put this sprinkler wherever you need it. This year I'm going to try putting these sprinklers directly on this main trunk line, and this sprinkler is adjustable. They're manufactured, it's just drippers, adjustable drippers. Once again, it's a Home Depot thing. So whenever I turn the water on out here, I will be able to consistently get correct water or correct moisture to the plant, universal all the way down this trunk line. And if I need a longer soak or a faster water, whatever I need to do, I can achieve that. Of course, the rain this year has kind of plagued us a little bit. You know, they were talking about great rain chances every other day, and then now here we are. We were dry for 2 to 3 weeks, and I think next week is rain every day again. So
right, all the rain that was scheduled has pretty much missed us altogether. So we're gonna need irrigation.
I'm gonna get this in here, and I'm gonna try and center this. Once again, tomato plants do not do very well with moisture on the leaves. They want dry leaves. So we're gonna get these drippers as close to the base of the plant as possible, and I'm going to orientate them. Sorry about the wind. We're going to orientate them in a way that they should not be spraying upwards on the plant. We're just going to try and get the soil moist. So I'm done there. Here goes some calcium, some crushed up eggshell, and then I'm going to leave y'all with Amber.
I'm gonna switch places with him real quick, and we'll just make an assembly line now and just go down the road as we do these. Let me grab one of them out for me.
Tell you what, put them all on your left.
So we've got these Roma tomatoes, and you know, on a homestead, when you have any amount of acreage or you're trying to be any kind of self-sufficient, if you're trying to do large scale things like this, you really have to pick your battles, and you have to figure out how to manage your time and what you really want to focus on. We have a really wonderful local nursery, Plants and Things, that is very reasonable, has local plants that come in almost daily there that are always healthy. I think this 6-pack was $2.
We got 24 tomato plants for $18.
Yes, so that is so convenient. So we chose not to seed start tomatoes this year, and we decided to seed start other things that we were more interested in, just because these are readily available at a really reasonable cost, and the time factor in seed starting and maintaining your seedlings and transferring them and grow lights and all the things that go around there, and then the space and the amount of them that we're trying to grow, that takes up a lot of space. That's a lot of grow lights, that's a lot of containers, that's a lot of stuff. So we decided to condense down what we wanted to seed start this year. So we purchased ours locally from a nursery, really healthy plants at a really reasonable price. So there's my story there. You guys can yell at us in the comments about it. So you saw he put the calcium down. We do this every year. I make a little hole. You're gonna plant your tomatoes deep. So I'm gonna take one tomato plant out here, and then I'm gonna show you that these little leaves down here,
the little stems,
the little leaves, the little branches down at the bottom, I'm gonna use my thumb and first finger, and I'm just gonna pinch them off at the base. Pinch them off. And then this little guy right here, it's too low to the ground too, so I'm gonna pinch it off right at the base, just like that. Now I'm going to plant this really deep. Like, I'm gonna plant it all the way up to here. All of these little hairs that are on the edge of the base of the plant, the tomato plant, those will all turn into those really good roots that love to soak up all the nutrients. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna plant it really deep, let it get a really nice good root system, and then grow from there. So I'm pretty much in the center here. That's not deep enough. There we go, that's good. And there we go. It's that simple. They like to be planted deep. I kind of hill up around them a little bit more. It's that simple. Now we got 23 more to go. 23 more to go.
I do need to mention too that right now, whether you're using crushed eggshells or whatever you're going to use for your calcium supplement, now is the time to get it in the soil. Yes. Once the blossom end rot issue presents itself, it's really too late. You're never going to get that plant to have the nutrients in the stems and up the leaves like it should whenever it's in prime producing season.
So that's something to think about when you're going to plant tomatoes. If you guys choose to grow tomatoes, treat your soil with a good tomato supplement at the time of planting or even before planting. Yeah. Make sure your soil is set up for tomatoes. Once you see the blossom end rot, it's too late.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get rid of it there.
Tomatoes are already very hungry plants.
Yes.
They need a lot of nutrients to provide. So let's get them on some time lapse, and then we're gonna get y'all to the surprise for what we're doing new this year. All right, off to today's bonus. Something we've never done before here on the homestead.
Never done it.
Let's grow peanuts.
Peanuts have a long history in the United States, and at one point it was completely illegal to grow them, whether it was for yourself or commercially.
Yep.
And that's all changed, and now it's just heavily regulated if you choose to sell it. But you are more than welcome to grow it yourself. And it's pretty popular in the South.
For those that actually know me, I don't care about regulation. Stop me from growing peanuts. With that said, we really don't know a lot about these. And you know, we've got the idea. It is actually more of a bean than it is a nut.
It's a legume.
Yes.
If I said that right. I probably didn't say that right. You guys can criticize me in the comments, but there it is.
But if you can look closely in the background here, you'll notice that we have a grapevine. So maybe we'll have some peanut butter and jelly this year.
We'll have our own peanut butter and jelly. That, and if our peach trees produce, I'll make peach jelly, because I usually do that every year. So
with what we don't know about them, we know that they're a nitrogen fixer for the soil. There's producing 80% of our food like we did in the past. We have a really good idea what plants do best where on the homestead, how much sunlight they get in the morning, the afternoon, just shaded spots, certain plants grow better in certain areas. We don't know anything about peanuts, so we're going to try several different areas.
And we've talked to several people whose parents grew them down here, but you know, they like loose soil. That's pretty much what they could tell us. It was their parents, so they've passed, and it was 2 generations ago that grew peanuts. So we found out what we could, but we're going to try it. Yep.
And we're going to get them in the ground. We're going to put them in the humiculture. We're going to put them in raised bed, and I've got 1 row of row crop that we're going to plant them in as well. So we'll see. I don't know if we're going to stress them out with we'll get some B-roll of that.
Right? I mean, it's something, this is part of it, is, you know, trying something new, trying to broaden your horizon, trying to learn a different skill set. We might want to become peanut farmers.
Yep.
I doubt it, but we might really like it. We'll see.
In the meantime, folks, we're going to stress to y'all, continue to become self-sufficient. Do anything you can, constantly learn, do whatever you can to get off the system. The system's not working for the long term. So become ungovernable. We'll see y'all next week.
We'll see you next week. Hi guys, welcome back to the Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Brent. Oh.